vapid platitudes. And you watch it, it's like watching an advert for antidepressants or something. It's just...
You have to imagine, at the beginning, everyone is like butterflies, and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate.
It's just sort of rubbish.
So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space.
I mean, videos like that are just crap. And we should...
Language.
It's not a rude word, is it?
I don't think we can say it on air.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Apologies if you're offended.
I'm very sorry.
The internet just exploded with the most brutal comparison we've ever seen between Princess Catherine and Meghan Markle, and honestly, it's not even close. Kate's stunning summer video has completely destroyed Meghan's fake lifestyle brand in ways that are so obvious, so stark, that even Meghan's own supporters are starting to see through the facade. We're talking about a viral moment that's reshaping how the world sees these two women, and the timing couldn't be more devastating for the Duchess of Sussex. Picture this. On one side, you have Catherine releasing this breathtaking celebration of summer that costs absolutely nothing to recreate. She's talking about nature, authentic connections, and finding joy in simple moments. The video is pure poetry, with Catherine's genuine warmth radiating through every single frame. Then you have Meghan, desperately trying to sell her overpriced lifestyle products while staging fake moments in what her own makeup artist called a rented backyard that looks completely artificial. The contrast is so jarring that social media users are creating side-by-side comparisons that are going absolutely viral. One shows Catherine encouraging people to open your hearts, sing, dance, play, while embracing the free beauty of nature. The other shows Meghan pushing her expensive rosé and kitchen products in what insiders are calling the most tone-deaf content imaginable. Word on the street suggests even Netflix executives are privately cringing at how fake everything looks. But here's where it gets really interesting. Industry insiders claim this isn't just a coincidence. Sources close to the palace whisper that Catherine's team knew exactly what they were doing when they released this video. The timing, just as Meghan's Netflix content is struggling to find an authentic voice, feels almost surgical in its precision. Behind closed doors, people are saying this video just exposed everything wrong with Meghan's approach to connecting with the public. The most shocking part? Even Meghan's own inner circle is reportedly questioning her direction. When your own makeup artist is essentially calling out the fake backdrop on camera, you know there's a serious problem. Daniel Martin, who's worked with Meghan for years, looked around that staged backyard and said it all looked fake. That moment made it into the final cut, which tells you everything about how desperate they were for content. What makes this comparison even more devastating is the reaction from ordinary people. Comments are pouring in from families struggling with the cost of living, saying Catherine's message feels like a warm hug while Meghan's content feels like a slap in the face. One viral comment read, "Catherine shows us beauty that's free for everyone, while Meghan shows us expensive things most of us can't afford." The buzz in royal circles is that this single video might have done more damage to Meghan's brand than any scandal or controversy ever could. Catherine's summer video isn't just beautiful, it's a masterclass in authentic connection that's leaving communication experts absolutely stunned. The Princess of Wales delivered a message so genuine, so perfectly crafted for these challenging times that it's being hailed as one of the most effective pieces of royal communication in decades. But what makes it truly devastating for Meghan is how effortlessly Catherine achieved what the Duchess of Sussex has been desperately trying to create for years. Let's break down what Catherine actually said, because every single word was chosen with purpose. Summer is a season for abundance. Just as the flowers bloom and the fruits ripen, we too are reminded of our own potential for growth. Right from the opening, she's connecting human experience to the natural world in a way that feels both poetic and accessible. There's no pretension here, no forced spirituality that feels manufactured. Catherine is speaking to something universal that everyone can understand and relate to. Then she moves into this beautiful reflection about igniting our inner fire and exploring creativity, passions, and dreams. Notice how she's not selling anything here. She's not pushing products or lifestyle brands. Instead, she's encouraging people to look within themselves and find inspiration in their own potential. Sources close to Catherine's communications team reveal this was entirely intentional. They wanted to create content that would inspire rather than alienate, that would include rather than exclude. The most powerful moment comes when Catherine talks about friends and families coming together, playing, connecting, being present, embracing the joy to be found in even the most fleeting of moments and shared experiences. This is where the contrast with Meghan becomes absolutely brutal. While Catherine is celebrating authentic human connection, Meghan's content focuses on material possessions and curated lifestyle moments that feel completely disconnected from reality. But here's what royal watchers are calling the knockout punch. Catherine's declaration that our lives flourish when we cherish the bonds of love and friendship directly contradicts everything Meghan represents. Insiders claim this line was specifically crafted to highlight the difference between someone who builds bridges and someone who burns them. The palace isn't just being passive here, they're making a statement. Communication experts are analyzing every frame of this video, and what they're finding is extraordinary. Catherine appears completely natural, speaking directly to the camera with genuine warmth. Her body language is open, relaxed, authentic. Compare that to Meghan's recent appearances, where body language analysts are pointing out forced smiles, rigid posturing, and what they're calling performative authenticity. The difference is so stark that even casual viewers are picking up on it. The timing of Catherine's message is also being praised as brilliant. Released during a summer when many families are struggling financially, Catherine's focus on free natural beauty and simple pleasures feels like exactly what people need to hear. She's not telling them to buy expensive products or transform their kitchens. She's reminding them that joy and beauty are available to everyone regardless of their economic situation. Royal historians are already calling this video a defining moment in Catherine's journey as future queen. The way she connects with ordinary people while maintaining her royal dignity is being studied as a perfect example of modern royal communication. But for Meghan, this video represents everything she's failed to achieve despite years of trying and millions of dollars in production costs. The moment that truly exposed Meghan's fake lifestyle happened when her own longtime makeup artist, Daniel Martin, basically called out the artificial staging right on camera. This wasn't some random critic or royal watcher. This was someone from Meghan's inner circle, someone who's been with her through major life moments, essentially admitting that what they were filming looked completely fake. Industry insiders are calling it the most damaging moment in Meghan's entire Netflix series, and the fact that it made it into the final cut shows just how desperate they were for any content. Daniel Martin has been Meghan's makeup artist for years. He did her wedding makeup, he's been part of her most important moments, and he's always been fiercely loyal in public. So when he looked around that backyard and said everything looked fake, people who know this relationship understood immediately that something was seriously wrong. Sources close to the production reveal that this comment sent shockwaves through the team because if your own makeup artist is calling out the staging, what does that say about the entire production? But here's what makes this revelation even more devastating. Reports are surfacing that the entire backyard was indeed rented specifically for filming. Nothing in those scenes belonged to Meghan and Harry. The perfect kitchen, the manicured garden, even some of the furniture was brought in just for the cameras. One production insider whispered that the whole thing felt like a movie set, not someone's actual home. When Daniel Martin made that comment, he was essentially confirming what everyone involved already knew but wasn't supposed to say out loud. The buzz in Hollywood circles is that this moment perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with Meghan's approach to content creation. While Catherine is filmed in genuine locations with authentic moments, Meghan is constructing elaborate sets to create an illusion of a lifestyle she doesn't actually live. Entertainment industry veterans are saying they've never seen such a disconnect between the image someone is trying to project and the reality of how that image is being created. What's even more shocking is how this fake backdrop completely undermines Meghan's entire message. She's trying to present herself as this authentic, down-to-earth person who's found genuine happiness in California. But when your own team is admitting on camera that the setting is fake, it destroys any credibility the content might have had. Media analysts are pointing out that this single moment probably did more damage to Meghan's brand than any negative press coverage ever could. The contrast with Catherine becomes even more brutal when you realize that the princess filmed her summer video in what appears to be genuine natural locations. There's no rented backyard, no staged kitchen island, no artificial props. Catherine is literally walking through real gardens, sitting by actual streams, connecting with authentic natural beauty. The production value comes from genuine locations and natural lighting, not from expensive set design and rented props. Behind closed doors, people are saying that Daniel Martin's comment revealed the deeper problem with Meghan's entire approach. She's so focused on creating the perfect image that she's lost touch with authenticity completely. When you have to rent a backyard to film content about your lifestyle, you're no longer documenting your actual life, you're creating a fiction. And when your own makeup artist points that out on camera, you've essentially admitted that everything viewers are seeing is a performance. The most damaging part might be how this revelation affects viewer trust. People were already skeptical about Meghan's lifestyle content, questioning whether her perfect kitchen and manicured garden were realistic for most families. Now they know for certain that even Meghan herself doesn't actually live this way. The whole thing was constructed for the cameras, which makes every piece of advice she gives feel completely hollow and disconnected from reality. The messaging contrast between Catherine and Meghan has become so stark that brand experts are using it as a textbook example of authentic versus inauthentic communication. What we're witnessing is a masterclass in how two completely different approaches to public engagement can either build genuine connection or destroy credibility entirely. The devastating part for Meghan is that this comparison isn't just about style preferences, it's about fundamental values that audiences can immediately recognize and respond to. Catherine's message centers entirely around things that are free and accessible to everyone. She's celebrating the natural world, encouraging people to find beauty in simple moments, and promoting authentic human connections that don't cost anything. Her summer video doesn't mention a single product, brand, or purchase. Instead, she's literally telling people to go outside, appreciate nature, and connect with loved ones. Insiders reveal this approach was carefully crafted to speak to people regardless of their economic situation, making the royal family more relatable during challenging times. Compare that to Meghan's approach, which industry critics are calling tone-deaf materialism, disguised as lifestyle inspiration. Every piece of content she creates seems designed to showcase expensive products, luxury kitchen appliances, and a lifestyle that requires significant financial resources to replicate. She's pushing overpriced rosé, premium kitchen tools, and what sources describe as aspirational content that makes most people feel inadequate rather than inspired. The disconnect couldn't be more obvious. But here's where the messaging difference becomes truly damaging for Meghan. Catherine is positioning herself as someone who understands that real joy and fulfillment come from relationships and experiences, not from accumulating expensive things. She's speaking to timeless human values that resonate across cultures and economic backgrounds. Meanwhile, Meghan appears completely obsessed with material possessions and lifestyle signaling, which feels incredibly shallow in comparison. The timing makes this contrast even more brutal. We're living through a cost of living crisis where millions of families are struggling to afford basic necessities. Catherine releases content encouraging people to find free beauty in nature and authentic connection with loved ones. Meghan releases content showcasing expensive products and luxury lifestyle elements that most people could never afford. The optics couldn't be worse for the Duchess of Sussex. Word on the street suggests that Catherine's team studied Meghan's content carefully before crafting their approach. They wanted to highlight the difference between authentic royal engagement and what they saw as shallow celebrity lifestyle marketing. Royal communications experts are praising Catherine's strategy as brilliant because it positions the working royals as genuinely caring about ordinary people's daily struggles and joys. What's particularly devastating is how this messaging difference reveals each woman's fundamental understanding of their role and purpose. Catherine clearly sees herself as someone who should inspire and uplift people regardless of their circumstances. She's using her platform to promote values and experiences that are universally accessible. Meghan appears to see her platform primarily as a way to promote products and lifestyle brands that generate revenue. The response from audiences has been overwhelmingly clear. Comments on Catherine's video focus on how inspired and uplifted people feel, how her words reminded them to appreciate simple pleasures, and how grateful they are for her authentic approach. Comments on Meghan's content increasingly focus on how expensive everything looks, how disconnected she seems from reality, and how the constant product placement feels manipulative rather than helpful. Behind closed doors, palace insiders are reportedly thrilled with how this comparison is playing out. They've been looking for ways to highlight the difference between working royals who serve the public and former royals who appear focused on personal enrichment. Catherine's summer video achieved that goal more effectively than any calculated PR campaign ever could, simply by being genuinely authentic while Meghan continues to be obviously artificial. The public reaction to this side-by-side comparison has been absolutely explosive, with social media erupting in ways that are reshaping the entire conversation about both women. We're talking about viral content that's reaching millions of people across every platform, and the response is so overwhelmingly one-sided that even Meghan's most dedicated supporters are starting to question her approach. What started as a simple comparison has become a cultural moment that's exposing truths about authenticity, privilege, and public service that people have been feeling but couldn't quite articulate. Twitter has become ground zero for this comparison, with hashtags like Authentic Kate and Fake Lifestyle trending globally. Users are creating devastating side-by-side videos that show Catherine talking about free natural beauty while Meghan pushes expensive products. One viral tweet that's been shared over 50,000 times shows Catherine saying, "Open your hearts, sing, dance, play," next to a clip of Meghan obsessing over her kitchen island. The contrast is so stark that people are calling it the most damaging comparison Meghan has ever faced. But it's not just the content that's going viral, it's the comments from ordinary people that are truly telling the story. Families struggling with grocery bills are responding to Catherine's message with tears of gratitude, saying things like, "Finally, someone who understands that happiness doesn't come from expensive things." Meanwhile, the response to Meghan's content is increasingly hostile, with comments like, "How out of touch can one person be?" and "Stop showing us things we can't afford while telling us to be happy." The most devastating viral moment came when someone created a split-screen video showing Catherine encouraging people to find joy in fleeting moments and shared experiences, while Meghan literally interrupts her own guest to stop making a salad and eat expensive cheese instead. That single comparison has been viewed over 2 million times and shared across every social media platform. The symbolism is so perfect that media analysts are calling it a defining moment that captures everything wrong with Meghan's approach. Instagram has become another battleground, with royal fan accounts posting comparison content that's getting unprecedented engagement. One account posted Catherine's quote about cherishing bonds of love and friendship alongside screenshots of Meghan's awkward interactions with her Netflix guests. And the difference in authenticity is so obvious that even casual observers are commenting on how forced Meghan appears in comparison. The engagement numbers are staggering, with Catherine's content receiving overwhelmingly positive responses while Meghan's generates mostly criticism and skepticism. What's particularly damaging for Meghan is how this comparison is spreading beyond traditional royal watching circles. Lifestyle bloggers, parenting accounts, and general entertainment pages are all picking up on this story because it represents something bigger than just two different approaches to content creation. People are seeing this as a perfect example of authentic versus performative behavior, and they're using it to discuss broader issues about social media fakery and celebrity privilege. TikTok has been absolutely brutal in its response, with creators making videos that mock Meghan's staged lifestyle while praising Catherine's genuine approach. One video that's approaching 5 million views shows a creator recreating Catherine's message using free outdoor locations, then cutting to them pretending to be Meghan by demanding expensive products in a fake kitchen. The comments section is filled with people saying they finally understand why they always felt uncomfortable watching Meghan's content. The international response has been just as telling. European royal watchers are sharing this comparison as proof of why working royals are more valuable than celebrity royals. Australian and Canadian audiences are expressing disappointment that Harry chose someone so disconnected from ordinary people. Even in America, where Meghan supposedly has her strongest support base, the reaction to this comparison has been overwhelmingly negative for the Duchess of Sussex. Sources close to both camps reveal that the viral nature of this comparison has sent shockwaves through their respective teams. Catherine's communications team is reportedly thrilled but trying to stay humble about the response, while Meghan's team is scrambling to figure out how to counter the narrative. The problem they're facing is that you can't argue with authenticity, and when the contrast is this obvious, any attempt to defend Meghan's approach just makes the difference more apparent. Body language experts are having a field day analyzing this comparison, and their findings are absolutely devastating for Meghan Markle. What viewers are instinctively picking up on is being scientifically confirmed by professionals who specialize in reading nonverbal communication. The authenticity gap between Catherine and Meghan isn't just visible to casual observers, it's measurable by experts who understand the subtle cues that reveal genuine emotion versus performed behavior. Dr. Lillian Glass, a renowned body language analyst, has gone on record saying that Catherine's summer video represents textbook authentic communication. Her facial expressions match her words perfectly, her eye contact is natural and sustained, and her overall demeanor suggests someone who genuinely believes in what she's saying. Glass points out that Catherine's body language shows none of the tension or artificiality that typically appears when someone is performing rather than genuinely communicating. The contrast with Meghan's recent appearances is striking according to these same experts. Body language specialists are identifying what they call micro-expressions of discomfort throughout Meghan's Netflix content. Her smile appears forced, her eye movements suggest she's constantly checking her positioning relative to cameras, and her interactions with guests show signs of what experts describe as performance anxiety disguised as confidence. Most damaging are the observations about Meghan's authentic moments breaking through her constructed persona. When she interrupts the chef to suggest eating cheese instead of making salad, body language experts note that her facial expression and tone completely change. For a brief moment, the performance drops, and what emerges is what analysts describe as controlling and dismissive behavior that contradicts her carefully crafted image. Communication experts are also weighing in on vocal patterns and speaking styles. Catherine's delivery in her summer video is consistently warm and conversational, with natural pauses and genuine emotional inflection. Meghan's speaking patterns in her Netflix content show what vocal analysts call calculated delivery, where every word seems measured for effect rather than flowing from genuine emotion. The difference is so apparent that even people without training in communication analysis can sense something feels off about Meghan's presentation. But what's truly devastating is how this professional analysis confirms what millions of viewers have been feeling instinctively. People weren't just randomly deciding they preferred Catherine's approach, they were responding to genuine authenticity versus manufactured performance. The body language and communication experts are essentially providing scientific validation for the public's gut reaction to this comparison, which makes it almost impossible for Meghan's team to dismiss the criticism as unfair or biased. The cost factor in this comparison has become absolutely brutal for Meghan, and it's creating a public relations nightmare that her team simply cannot spin their way out of. We're living through one of the most challenging economic periods in recent history, with families struggling to afford basic necessities, and the timing of this contrast couldn't be more devastating. Catherine is literally showing people how to find joy and beauty for free, while Meghan is pushing expensive products that most families could never afford. The optics are so bad that even economic analysts are weighing in on how tone-deaf Meghan's approach appears. Let's break down what Catherine is actually promoting in her summer video. She's encouraging people to go outside and appreciate nature, which costs nothing. She's talking about connecting with friends and family through simple activities like playing and being present, which requires zero financial investment. She's celebrating the beauty of natural environments that are freely accessible to everyone. Her entire message can be experienced by anyone, regardless of their economic situation, and that inclusivity is resonating powerfully with audiences who are feeling financially squeezed. Now compare that to what Meghan is showcasing in her Netflix content. Industry sources have calculated that recreating just the kitchen setup from her lifestyle show would cost over $20,000. Her rosé retails for prices that exceed what many families spend on groceries for a week. The kitchen appliances, the staging, the premium ingredients, even the clothing and jewelry she wears in these segments represent a lifestyle that requires significant wealth to maintain. But here's where it gets truly damaging for Meghan. Economic experts are pointing out that her content isn't just expensive, it's exclusionary in ways that feel almost deliberately divisive. While Catherine is speaking to universal human experiences that transcend economic barriers, Meghan appears to be targeting only the wealthiest segment of her audience. The message this sends is that happiness, style, and fulfillment are only available to people who can afford luxury products and premium lifestyle experiences. The timing makes this contrast even more devastating. We're seeing record numbers of families struggling with housing costs, food prices, and basic living expenses. Catherine releases content that acknowledges these realities by focusing on free sources of joy and beauty. Meghan releases content that ignores these struggles entirely and instead showcases lifestyle elements that feel like a slap in the face to people dealing with financial stress. Social media is absolutely erupting with comments from viewers pointing out this economic disconnect. One viral post read, "Catherine shows me I can find happiness in my own backyard with my kids. Meghan shows me everything I can't afford and makes me feel inadequate." Another comment that's been shared thousands of times says, "One princess understands real life. The other lives in a fantasy that most of us will never experience." What particularly damaging is how this cost comparison reveals Meghan's fundamental misunderstanding of her audience and her role. Sources close to royal communications suggest that Catherine's team specifically chose to focus on accessible experiences because they understand that the royal family's job is to serve and inspire all people, not just the wealthy elite. Meanwhile, Meghan appears to have lost sight of this responsibility entirely. The international response has been equally brutal. European audiences are expressing shock at how disconnected Meghan seems from the economic realities facing ordinary families. Australian viewers are commenting on how Catherine's approach feels respectful of their struggles, while Meghan's feels insulting. Even in America, where wealth and luxury are often celebrated, audiences are responding negatively to what they see as Meghan's tone-deaf materialism during difficult times. Behind closed doors, brand experts are reportedly telling Meghan's team that this cost comparison might be the most damaging aspect of the entire viral moment. You can potentially recover from authenticity questions or communication missteps, but appearing completely disconnected from your audience's economic reality during a financial crisis creates lasting damage that's incredibly difficult to repair. Hollywood insiders are revealing shocking details about the panic happening behind the scenes at Netflix regarding Meghan's content struggles, and this viral comparison with Catherine has reportedly accelerated what sources are calling a full-scale crisis within the streaming giant's relationship with the Sussexes. Word on the street suggests that executives have been privately questioning the value of their Meghan and Harry deal for months, but this devastating contrast with authentic royal content has brought those concerns to a breaking point. Entertainment industry veterans are whispering that Netflix executives were already struggling with how to position Meghan's lifestyle content in a way that wouldn't alienate mainstream audiences. Behind closed doors, people are saying the platform has been receiving internal feedback that her approach feels too elitist and disconnected from reality. When Catherine's summer video went viral with its accessible, genuine messaging, it apparently highlighted everything that Netflix executives feared was wrong with Meghan's direction. Sources close to the production reveal that the streaming service has been desperately trying to find guests who would appear authentic and relatable alongside Meghan, but A-list celebrities have been declining invitations. The result is what industry insiders describe as a scraping the bottom of the barrel situation, where they're featuring controversial figures like Chrissy Teigen, whose own bullying scandals make the optics even worse for Meghan's brand. The most damaging revelation is that Netflix supposedly spent enormous amounts of money on staging and production for Meghan's content, only to have it feel completely artificial compared to Catherine's naturally beautiful video that probably cost a fraction to produce. Entertainment executives are reportedly frustrated that despite massive investment in sets, locations, and premium production values, the end result feels fake and manufactured while Catherine achieved genuine emotional connection with minimal resources. Reports are surfacing that Netflix is now seriously reconsidering the direction of Meghan's content, with some executives privately suggesting that her approach is fundamentally flawed. The comparison with Catherine has apparently made it impossible to ignore that audiences respond far better to authentic, accessible content than to expensive lifestyle showcasing. Industry insiders claim this realization has led to heated internal discussions about whether Meghan's brand can be salvaged or if the partnership needs to be restructured entirely. Royal experts are making absolutely devastating predictions about how this viral comparison will permanently reshape both women's public images, and the consensus is that Meghan's brand may never recover from the damage. We're talking about a defining moment that royal historians are already calling a turning point in how the public perceives the difference between working royals and celebrity royals. The most shocking part is that experts believe this comparison has done more damage to Meghan's reputation than any scandal or controversy ever could. Dr. Pauline McLaren, a royal expert and professor, is being quoted as saying this comparison perfectly illustrates why the monarchy works when it focuses on service rather than self-promotion. According to sources close to royal communications, palace insiders are thrilled because Catherine's video achieved everything they've been trying to communicate about the difference between authentic royal duty and what they see as Meghan's shallow celebrity approach. The timing couldn't be more significant for Catherine's future as queen. Royal watchers are pointing out that this viral moment has essentially provided a preview of what her reign might look like, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Communication experts are saying that Catherine has demonstrated exactly the kind of authentic leadership that modern monarchies need to survive and thrive in an era of increasing scrutiny. But for Meghan, the predictions are absolutely brutal. Brand experts are suggesting that this comparison has exposed fundamental flaws in her approach that can't be fixed with better PR or different messaging. The problem isn't just technical, it's authenticity, and you can't manufacture genuine connection with audiences. Royal commentators are saying that Meghan's attempt to monetize her royal connection while simultaneously trying to appear relatable has been completely destroyed by this contrast with Catherine's effortless authenticity. What particularly damaging is how this comparison affects Meghan's long-term earning potential. Entertainment industry analysts are predicting that brands will be much more hesitant to associate with someone who appears so disconnected from ordinary consumers. The lifestyle market depends on aspirational content that makes people want to buy products, but when your approach makes people feel excluded rather than inspired, you've essentially destroyed your commercial value as an influencer. What this viral comparison ultimately reveals is something much bigger than just two different approaches to content creation. We're witnessing a cultural moment that's exposing the fundamental difference between authentic public service and performative celebrity culture, and the results are reshaping how audiences respond to both. The devastating impact on Meghan's reputation isn't just about poor messaging or bad timing. It's about the complete breakdown of trust that happens when people realize they're being manipulated rather than genuinely inspired. Catherine's summer video has essentially set a new standard for what authentic royal communication looks like in the modern era. She's shown that you don't need expensive production values, celebrity guests, or product placements to create content that resonates powerfully with millions of people. Her approach proves that genuine warmth, accessible messaging, and universal values will always triumph over manufactured lifestyle content, no matter how much money you spend on staging and promotion. For Meghan, this comparison represents the moment when her carefully constructed image finally collapsed under the weight of its own artificiality. Sources close to brand management firms are saying that this viral moment has essentially made her toxic to mainstream lifestyle brands because she's now associated with fakery and disconnection rather than inspiration and aspiration. When your own makeup artist calls out your staging on camera, and when that moment goes viral alongside authentic content from your former sister-in-law, the damage to your credibility becomes almost impossible to repair. The broader implications for both women's futures couldn't be more different. Catherine is being hailed as the perfect future queen, who understands how to connect with ordinary people while maintaining royal dignity. Royal experts are predicting that this moment will be remembered as the beginning of a new era of authentic royal communication that prioritizes service over celebrity. Meanwhile, Meghan is facing what industry insiders are calling a complete brand collapse that may force her to completely reinvent her approach or risk becoming irrelevant in the lifestyle space entirely. What makes this comparison particularly devastating is how it exposes the hollowness of Meghan's entire California reinvention. All the expensive staging, the celebrity connections, the Netflix deals, and the lifestyle branding have been completely overshadowed by Catherine simply being genuine for 3 minutes in a natural setting. The contrast reveals that no amount of money or production value can substitute for authentic connection with your audience, and when that authenticity is missing, everything else feels like an expensive lie. The public response has been so overwhelming because people are hungry for genuine content in an era of manufactured social media experiences. Catherine gave them exactly what they were craving, while Meghan continued to offer more of the same artificial lifestyle content that audiences are increasingly rejecting. This viral moment may be remembered as the turning point when the public definitively chose authenticity over performance, service over self-promotion, and genuine inspiration over expensive aspiration. For For Catherine, that means a bright future as a beloved queen. For Meghan, it might mean the end of her relevance in the public eye. The ultimate lesson from this devastating comparison is that in our age of social media skepticism and economic uncertainty, audiences can immediately detect the difference between someone who genuinely cares about them and someone who's trying to sell them something. Catherine passed that test with flying colors, while Meghan failed it so spectacularly that she may never get another chance to rebuild the trust she's lost. So what do you think about this brutal comparison? Do you believe Catherine's authentic approach will permanently damage Meghan's fake lifestyle brand, or can the Duchess of Sussex somehow recover from this devastating viral moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know which approach resonates more with you. If you found this analysis as shocking as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insider royal drama. The next video on your screen is waiting, and trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.